Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, man killed, child wounded in Delacree Park shooting. A man was shot and killed and a child wounded in the Delacree Park housing scheme in St. Andrew on Tuesday evening. The deceased has been identified as 26-year-old Oniko Anderson, otherwise called Nico, of the same community. An 8-year-old girl was shot in the foot. According to the St. Andrew South Police, about 9 p.m., Anderson and the child were sitting among a group of people on Fairman Way when a vehicle drove up and stopped. A man alighted with a firearm and shot Anderson in the upper body, including the head. The child was also hit. She was admitted to hospital in stable condition. The police are investigating whether Anderson's murder is linked to a recent dispute with a former associate. It was also revealed that Anderson was charged in 2015 for murder and served a prison term for 3 years. Old Harbor residents demand justice after man fatally shot by police. The relatives of a man are demanding justice after he was fatally shot during a police operation in Old Harbor, St. Catherine on Tuesday morning. It is reported that about 8 o'clock, the police entered the Bowes district and went to the residence of 23-year-old Shaquille Johnson, where he lived with his child's mother. His girlfriend says the police pulled Mr. Johnson from the house and physically assaulted him. She says he was then shot and a firearm placed at the scene.
But 2 jeep of them come out and all and pull him, but come here, who here? And he say, sir, him give the officer him name and say, sir, me and so and so and so. So them start pulling and I shoot him and I say, come here. And I kick him up and I box him and I lick him on the ground. So then say, me if you come out. So me say, why me I come out? And then them draw me out and I kick me and then kick me in my face. And box me and draw me out. So as them push me out, then shoot him. In him head, them shoot him, me see, and then them put on one gun and come talk. But say, yeah man, see gun here.
INDECOM probing 3 separate police fatal shootings. The Independent Commission of Investigations has said its response teams are probing 3 separate police fatal shootings within the last 24 hours. It is reported that about 8 a.m. Tuesday, the police entered Bowes district in Old Harbor, St. Catherine, and went to the residence of 23-year-old Shaquille Johnson, where he lived with his child's mother. His girlfriend said the police pulled Mr. Johnson from the house and physically assaulted him before he was then shot. In the other incident, which occurred Wednesday, Jadine Gooden, also called 6, was killed in Grants Bend, St. Andrew, while the deceased in Jerusalem Mountain, Westmoreland, has not yet been identified. INDECOM says in the Old Harbor and the Grants Bend shootings, the police teams reported that they visited a premises and a man was seen with a firearm which was allegedly pointed at the police. At least one officer is reported as firing in each incident, and a firearm was reportedly recovered from the deceased at each scene. The INDECOM team has not yet received all the details of the shootings in Westmoreland. No body-worn cameras were reported as being worn by any of the concerned officers. INDECOM says these latest fatal shooting incidents increased the total since the start of the year to 133, of which 22 have occurred this month. Bail hearing for men on cocaine trial postponed. The bail application for 3 of the 5 men charged in connection with last year's massive cocaine bust in Havendale, St. Andrew, has been postponed until May 29. When the matter was called up, Justice Leighton Pusey, who is presiding in the Noel Maitland murder case, told attorneys Donahue Martin and Tamar Dunbar that he's unable to hear the applications. But Justice Pusey asked the attorneys if they were willing to submit written applications 2 days ahead of the hearing. Both attorneys agreed. 57-year-old Clive Davis, 58-year-old Colin Ricketts, and 42-year-old Clayton Peart were subsequently remanded. 72-year-old Jonah Haldane and Aubrey Sterling were offered bail last December. The men are to answer to charges of possession of cocaine, dealing in cocaine, trafficking cocaine, and a conspiracy, following the $12 billion drug bust in August, the largest drug find on record. Officers from the JCF's Firearms and Narcotics Investigation Division, accompanied by units from the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, raided the premises and seized several knitted bags containing cocaine. Approximately 2,600 kilograms or 5,569 pounds of the drug, with a street value of US $75.79 million, was allegedly found during a 3-hour operation. The police were reportedly acting on information when they went to the premises, as the men were allegedly loading a bus with the bags of cocaine. The men are to be tried on November 3. Bail extended for pregnant woman and a partner accused in motor vehicle theft. A woman accused of conspiring with her partner to steal her co-worker's motor vehicle had her bail extended when she appeared in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on Tuesday. Steffi Clark is facing a charge of simple larceny of a motor vehicle. Allegations are that she borrowed a Honda Inspire motor car from her co-worker under the pretext of going to the hospital. Her co-worker reportedly agreed and handed over the vehicle. However, Clark allegedly drove the vehicle to St. Thomas, where she lives, and handed it over to her partner, Gresham Bailey. Bailey is then accused of selling the car to another man without the complainant's knowledge or consent. Your Honor, she told me she had driven it home to St. Thomas and that her father uncomfortable with the light on the car, the complainant told the court. She said they owed the garage $150,000 for repairs plus $200,000 they had borrowed, and that the garage was threatening her father. The man who purchased the vehicle reportedly had a prior arrangement with Bailey to purchase a bus, which he paid for in advance but never received. After persistent follow-up, Bailey allegedly loaned the purchaser the Honda Inspire temporarily. After a few days, the buyer demanded either ownership of the Honda or a refund, but grew suspicious when Bailey failed to provide the vehicle's documents. The buyer subsequently reported the matter to the police. Clark, who is 23 weeks pregnant, is currently on $200,000 bail along with her partner. Both had their bails extended on Tuesday. As part of their bail conditions, Bailey must report to the Matilda's Corner Police Station every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., while Clark is required to report to the Marantee Bay Police Station on the same days and times. Travel restrictions have been imposed on both accused, and they are required to surrender their travel documents. A stop order has also been issued. The court was informed that statements from the Tax Administration Jamaica are still outstanding. Both are scheduled to return to court on November 20, 2025. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.